Hi everyone, my name is Ilana and in this video we will be discussing medical ethics. Now you may be thinking, well, don't doctors just know what to do? Isn't it easy to figure out how to treat a patient? And to that I say, not really. Like all forms of moral philosophy, medical ethics try to define universal principles for all doctors to act upon. They are necessary to make sure each physician is following the same set of general rules in order to treat their patients respectfully and in the best way possible, especially if their situation may be tough. These ethics center around maintaining one of the most crucial aspects of all medical interactions, a healthy doctor-patient relationship that is built on trust. Generally, medical practices that are considered ethical today must respect four basic principles. So these are autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. And here's a quick rundown of each. First, respect for autonomy means that the patient should be able to make independent personal choices and have full control over actions when it comes to their healthcare. The doctor should never try to force their patients into making a decision. The patient also has a right to make a fully informed choice and should therefore know all of the benefits, but also the risks of medical procedures. The doctor must respect patient's confidentiality and get consent for all actions. If the patient is, for any reason, unable to or not in a proper state to give fully informed and competent consent, a surrogate decision maker is allowed to make the choice for them. If no one is found, though, and the situation is between life and death, the doctor may have to make the decision on behalf of the patient and act on the next principle of medical ethics, which is beneficence. Beneficence is the principle that states that doctors must always act with the intent to do good for their patient, and that they should strive to make the overall best impact possible on their patients and the community. Next, non-maleficence, on the other hand, is the principle of doing no harm. Of course, sometimes doing some harm or involving risks while trying to help is inevitable, but this principle states that it is never okay to intentionally only cause harm, and that if possible, all of this action should be minimized or avoided. The principles of beneficence and non-maleficence should often be considered together, as overall good should outweigh any overall harm. Lastly, justice basically signifies that treatments and resources should be distributed as evenly as possible among people who need it, especially if resources are scarce. They should give equal opportunity, and similar cases should be treated fairly. So those were four main principles of medical ethics and are a key starting point for all complex discussions on the topic. Do you notice any specific connections throughout these threads to both utilitarianism and deontology or Kantian ethics too? And now, time for some super fast history. Medical ethics can be dated all the way back to the 5th century BCE with the Hippocratic Oath, then were defined again by English physician Thomas Percival in the 18th century, which became a basis for the American Medical Association's first code of ethics. And then, medical ethics were widely defined again in the late 1900s to 2000s by Tom Beauchamp and James Childress, who newly defined the principles more on the basis of patient autonomy. They were the ones who first defined the four-principle approach as well. Historically, the principle of autonomy wasn't fully respected, and the doctor was able to override any of the patient's beliefs or desires. Another interesting area in medical ethics is what happens when a patient's personal cultural or religious beliefs conflict with what the doctor thinks will be the best or sometimes the only treatment. In general, as with all medical issues, the doctor should fully listen to and respect the patient's concerns, beliefs, and wishes when it comes to medical decisions. It is important to respect the desires of the patient, even if they are not the most effective, in order to maintain the physician-patient relationship and to continue building and maintaining trust. If the patient does make a life-threatening choice, such as refusing to go through with a treatment, the doctor has a duty to lay out all the possible outcomes of not undergoing this treatment and can open up a respectful discussion. But still, the patient's wishes should be respected first and foremost. Next, we have mistakes. We all make them, even physicians who have been practicing for years and years. The relationship of trust between physician and patient means that the doctor must act completely honest so that it's in the best interest of the patient. In general, all medical errors, no matter how small, should be disclosed. Some patients may feel a loss of trust when they learn that a mistake has been made. However, they will want to know of all the big and the small mistakes. Issues will be even worse if they find out years later that a mistake was withheld from them. Additionally, patients are less likely to take legal action overall when their doctor has been honest with them regarding their mistakes. Even if it seems straightforward, this can be an incredibly difficult situation to be in as a doctor. Apologizing and admitting mistakes can be a universally difficult thing to do in general, but when dealing with issues that cause direct harm to someone, or even death in some cases, that amplifies it to the next level. Of course, there are so many more areas and fascinating subjects in medical ethics that we didn't get to cover in this short video, especially those dealing with more specific or controversial issues and cases. But I hope this gave you a general understanding of some of the most basic ideas in medical ethics, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And for a list of sources, please check down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.